Have you ever looked at a humanoid robot, a hyper-realistic CGI character, or even a detailed wax figure, and felt an instant, deep sense of unease? Your skin crawls, but you can't quite explain why. This is the uncanny valley. The concept is simple. As an object becomes more human-like, our empathy and comfort with it increase. But right before it becomes perfectly human, there is a sharp drop-off into pure discomfort. Your brain enters a zone of psychological rejection. The leading scientific explanation points to our evolutionary roots. For thousands of years, humans survived by detecting subtle signs of disease, injury, or deception in others. When your brain looks at something that is 99% human, its pattern recognition system goes into overdrive. It detects that 1% mismatch and sounds an alarm. It treats the uncertainty as an active threat, trying to protect you from something it perceives as fundamentally wrong. You walk into a cafe in a city you've never visited, having a conversation with someone you just met, and suddenly it hits you. A powerful, overwhelming wave of familiarity. You feel certain you have lived this exact microsecond before. This is déjà vu, French for already seen. Up to 80% of the population experiences it. Rather than a glimpse into a past life or a parallel universe, neurological research suggests it's a temporary misfire in the temporal lobe. Your brain essentially has two systems running in parallel, one that processes the immediate present and one that retrieves memories. During déjà vu, the memory system accidentally flags a brand new experience as old, causing you to experience a live moment as a memory. But there is a rarer, much more unsettling twin to this glitch, jamais vu, meaning never seen. This occurs when a deeply familiar situation, place, or word suddenly feels completely alien. You might look at your own front door or a word you have spelled thousands of times, and your brain temporarily refuses to recognize it. The connection between the object and its meaning drops out, leaving you standing in a world you know, feeling like a complete stranger. If you remember the Monopoly man wearing a monocle or Pikachu having a black tip on his tail, you share a vivid memory with millions of people. The only problem? It never happened. The Monopoly man has never worn a monocle, and Pikachu's tail has always been solid yellow. This phenomenon is called the Mandela Effect, named after the widespread, false belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 1980s. Conspiracy theorists love to point to shifting timelines or dimensional rifts, but the reality lies in the fragile nature of human memory. Your brain doesn't function like a video camera recording raw data. Instead, it reconstructs memories every single time you recall them. When you think of a wealthy, old-fashioned gentleman in a top hat, like the Monopoly man, your brain naturally fills in the gaps using cultural archetypes. Because wealthy men in classic cartoons often wear monocles, millions of minds independently filled in the blank spaces using the exact same logic. It's proof that human memory isn't an archive, it's a storyteller. Imagine sitting at your desk, and out of nowhere, the world around you shifts. Everything looks exactly the same, but it feels fundamentally fake. It's as if you're watching your life through a pane of glass, or playing a video game through the eyes of a character. This state of profound detachment is called derealization. It is often accompanied by depersonalization, where you feel completely disconnected from your own physical body, watching yourself from the outside. While terrifying, this isn't a permanent break from reality. It is actually a defense mechanism. When your nervous system becomes severely overwhelmed by prolonged stress, anxiety, or extreme exhaustion, your brain decides the incoming data is too intense to process. To protect you, it dials down the emotional intensity of your surroundings, creating a psychological buffer. The unfortunate side effect is that the world begins to feel like a poorly constructed movie set. It is an unhelpful coping mechanism, a temporary software safety protocol running when the hardware gets too hot. It is the middle of the night. You wake up, you can clearly see your bedroom, your clock, and the doorway. But when you try to sit up, you realize you are completely pinned down. You can't move a finger, you can't scream, and a heavy pressure settles onto your chest. Worse yet, you sense a dark, malicious presence watching you from the shadows. For thousands of years, across every culture, this experience was attributed to demons, witches, or nocturnal entities. The Old English called it the night hag.